Welcome back to Google class. Dear students, how are you? Today I am going to discuss with Transfer of Property Act. Continuation of last video classes. Okay. Last class we discussed about forfeiture of lease under section 111G, 112, 114, 114A, 115. Okay. Now I am discussed with section 114. What is that? Section 114. This also I already discussed. Section 114, relief against forfeiture for non-payment of rent. Okay, that is heading. What does mean that? So based on this heading, section 114, today a reference case. Okay, reference means a famous case also available. So today class only discussion of the case law. Okay, under the section 114. The Namdeo, Namdeo, Namdeo Lokman Lodi, Namdeo Lokman Nodi, Namdeo, Namdeo Lokman, Lok Lok, Man, Lokman Lodi, Lodhi, Lodi. Okay, versus Narmada Bai and others. Narmada Bai, Narmadabai, Narmada Bai and others. Here I am giving brief facts about this case. The Narmada Bai and other respondents in this appeal case were the daughter and grandson of the original plaintiff Vinayaga Bhatt, Vinayakabhat, Vinayaga Bhatt. Okay, this plaintiff adoptive mother was named Ramabai, Ramabai. Okay, note down here Narmada Bai and other respondents. Okay, in this appeal, where the daughter and grandson of the original plaintiff Vinaya Bhatt. Vinaya Bhatt, his adoptive mother was Ramabai. Okay, Ramabai owned lands in survey number 86/1 and survey number 86/2 at Mundava place. Okay, Mundhva, Mundava. On 1st July 1863, Ramabai, while she was in financial difficulties, okay, she is not able to run her family also, so the situation financial difficulties passed a permanent lease of both these numbers to one Lada Ibrahim Sheath, Ladha, Lada Ibrahim, Ibrahim, Ibrahim Sheath, Sheth, Sheath. Okay, the lessee paid a premium rupees 999. Okay, rupees 999 for the lease, and also agreed to pay yearly rent rupees 80. Here lessee paid a premium amount 999 for lease amount, and also agreed to pay yearly rent of rupees 80 to Ramabai during her lifetime, and after her death a yearly amount equal to the assessment of the two lands to the heirs of Ramabai. Okay, legal heirs of Ramabai. In this situation, the lease provided that in default of payment of rent. Default of payment of rent, the tenant's rights would come to an end. Okay, the tenant's rights would come to an end. Okay, got it? And 16 August 1870, here the Lada Ibrahim, Ladha-Ibrahim, Lada Ibrahim sold his tenancy rights to one Giridhari Balaram Lodhi, Girdhari, Giridhari Balaram, Balaram, Balaram Lodhi, for rupees 7,999. Okay. Sorry. On the same day, the new tenant passed a rent note in favor of Ramabai. On the same day, the new tenant passed a rent note in favor of Ramabai. The rent note provided for the payment of the agreed rent in the month of Paush, P-A-U-S-H, Paush, every year. Okay. And stated that in case of default, the tenant of his heirs would have no right over the land. Note down. In case of default, the tenant or his heirs would have no right over the land. Okay. Sorry. Here, Namdeo Lokman Lodhi is a defendant number 1. Namdeo, N-A-M-D-E-O, Namdeo Lokman Lodhi is the defendant number 1. And other defendants were the grandsons of Seth Giridhar Balaram. Other grandsons of Seth Giridhar Balaram, S-E-T-H, Seth Giridhar, G-I-R-D-H-A-R, Giridhar Balaram. Okay. Here, defendant number 1 is Namdeo Lokman Lodhi, and other defendants were the grandsons of Seth Giridhar Balaram. Since 1870, Seth Giridhar Balaram and after him his successors did not pay the rents to Ramabai and her successors regularly. Okay, in 1870, Seth Giridhar Balaram and after him his successors did not pay the rents to Ramabai and her successors regularly. Ramabai and her successors used to file suit for the recovery of rents. This normally occurs because if any defaults occurs, automatically recovery of the defaults, the filing is suit. Okay, like this, they sued the lessees for 5 years. Lessees for 5 years. Whenever a suit was filed, the lessees were dragging the case, because dragging means that normally they are taking unwantedly pass over and extended their limits. So these are doing, okay, dragging the cases or fictitious grounds, unwanted grounds, and were paying rents after 6 years or 4 years on court orders only. The lessor sued for, in this situation, the lessor sued for forfeiture of lease, and the trial court gave judgment in favor of the lessor and ordered the lessee to evict. Evict means vacate from the premises. Okay. In this situation, the lessee appealed to the High Court, contending that the trial court decision was against the law, as the court gave judgment for eviction and forfeiture of lease without giving a notice from the lessee. What is saying? Without giving a notice from the lessee. So in this ground, the High Court also dismissed the appeal. Okay. This lessee again applied to Supreme Court. What judgment? Supreme Court also dismissed the appeal and confirmed the decision of the trial court. Trial court means local court. Okay. Local court, what order passed? In favor of lessor. Okay. So what principle they applied? The Supreme Court applied the main principle, section 114 of the Transfer of Property Act confers a discretion on the court. Okay, you know very well discretion of the court. Court having power, the circumstance and proof of witness, and as well as what are the evidence before the court. So based on this situation, court will pass the orders. So this is a provision of court power, that discretion except in the cases where third party interest intervening, okay, must always be exercised in the favor of the tenant, irrespective of the conduct of the tenant. It is also clear that in this case the tenant is a recalcitrant tenant and is a habitual default, because his habit is default of pay the rent to the lessor. Okay, for the best part of 25 years he has never paid rent without being sued in court. Rent has been in arrears at times for 6 years, at other times for 3 years, and other times for 4 years, and so on. And every time the landlord had filed to a suit in ejectment, that means eviction of the petition, which was always resisted on false defenses from the lessee. So no rule of equity, justice or good conscience can be invoked in the case of a tenant of this description. He cannot always be allowed to take advantage of his own wrong and to plead relief against forfeiture on every occasion, particularly when he was warned by the Court of Appeal on a previous occasion. He had already had relief 3 times on equitable grounds, and it is time that the court withheld its hands and ordered his eviction. In such circumstance, notice for eviction is not necessary. Okay. In this situation, the High Court was fully justified finding that in second appeal would not interfere with the discretion of the court below in refusing in grant relief against forfeiture. The last point of the principle, the court may pass an order the granting of relief against forfeiture under section 111 of TP Act is no doubt in the discretion of the court, but in exercising the discretion, each case must be judged itself. The delay, the conduct of the parties, and the difficulties to which the landlord has been put should be weighed against the tenant. Okay, now it's clear, students. Section 114. This is a leading case, an example case. Amdio Lokman Lodi versus Narmada Bai and others. Okay. Okay, students. I'm closing this session. We'll meet again next class. Okay. Bye. Thank you.